This one should be public. Okay, it's starting. This is my first stream. Woo! It's a different mood right now in France. I have to say, it's just different. And today I'm trying something completely different as well. This is a live stream, and I'm just going to see if it's working on this side. So if you're, I don't know where it's supposed to, I know. Well, we're going to be trying to make this work. Should be better now. Right. That should be working. It's public. And yeah. Yeah, so this is new for me. Doing this, completely new. So I need to know if it's any good on the quality side on your side, right over there. Right. Hello, everyone. I see some people tuning in. My screen is over there, so I need to get a little bit bigger here on this side. Bear with me. Anyway. I'm trying not to do it like at the desk. I want to do it here on here. You guys ask a lot of questions, and so I think it would be great to get into your questions. See if I can like zoom this in. Oh, I can zoom that in. Yes, there we go. Hello, everyone. I say silent rays. Sorry, this is the first time I'm doing this on the stand. Works on this end. Perfect. Good. Hello, Iris. Hello, Janesgi. It's working good. Hello, Brazil. We got Brazil tuning in. That's a great thing about YouTube is it can connect just everyone. It really does. Of course I need someone to help me, Iris. Of course. I know, isn't that great? And so I'm going to start out by talking a little bit about, I'm going to get into different things, and my wife is supposed to be tuning in too. I still don't see where am I supposed to see the stream on YouTube. Well, it is live. Well, at least some of you are watching. Okay. Okay, now it works. My wife is in the other room watching. Okay, fine. So, getting into why I'm going to try this is because a lot of questions come to the channel, and this is what the channel is all about. It's about the questions coming. Hello from England, Lithuania. Hello. Oh, I got Magali. Bonjour. Bonsoir, ma sœur. Bonsoir. Yes, it's sub feed, but how do I get here at least? It's in the sub feed. Hello from Egypt. Hello from South Texas. Hello, everyone. No notification. Okay. I don't know what sub feed is, but thanks. Yes, sometimes we got to just take advantage of what is happening now in life. And as some of you know, I live here in France, and j'habite ici en France. Et c'était très dur pour tout le monde ici en France. On a une grande cathédrale qui a brûlé. Ah, mon prononciation en français, c'est dur. D'accord. So I switched back to English. Yesterday we had a big problem, and one of our most sacred buildings was burned almost to the ground. And so it's emotional for all of us. And so I'm going to just play a little bit of music because I wanted to do this. I'm going to play some French music because I want to do this. And then I'll get into some of your questions. So, yeah, I want to play something. I've been playing Marron Marais, and so I think I would like to play that. Anyway, a little bit of Marron Marais, or actually no, I want to do a little oldie goldie. Some of you have seen it. It is by what is his name? God, I forgot his name. I'm drawing a blank right now. Massenet, Jeezy crazy. It's a Massenet. I'm just trying to find the right song to fit my mood, and it's a bit everywhere right now, my mood. This is my homage to Notre Dame. You know, sometimes in life you have to play music. You have to play music. Anyway, I'm going to answer some of your questions to lighten the mood a little bit. Yes, Radu, I'm going to answer your question right now. What is the piece you played in our Tino music video? I don't know. I don't know. What it was? I don't know what it was. So, okay. I'll get to your comments, some of you, wondering if the best music to learn for a cello beginner, classical beginner, like reading notes. Okay, I'll get some of those questions, but I do want to talk about these bits, these questions I have already set up right here, and then I'll go back and do this. Thank you, AJ, very much. Little emotional. Radu Sorin Kotok. I hope I said your name correctly. Thank you for tuning in, Radu. Recently said, I recently bought a Korg TM60 tuner, the newer version of what you recommend, which is this tuner right here. And I use it to tune my cello. I also checked with some phone apps, and I noticed that they show the same values as the tuner, which means they're very good for this purpose. Is there an advantage of having a tuner rather than an app on your phone? And to answer this question, you have a tuner here and you have a phone here. When you practice, where does this tuner go? Probably goes on your music stand. Now, which one of these focuses you more on your music, and which one will distract you from your music? Even though you may turn off all notifications, this may find a Wi-Fi spot somewhere. Simply put, there are too many distractions. This is here to take away your concentration. This allows you to jump into music wholly and completely. And, well, this cost me 30 euros, and I've had it for almost 10 years. This cost me 1,000 euros, and I will never do, well, I'll never do this with this, because it still works. So my advice to not only you, Radu, but to everyone, get yourself a dedicated tuner. It will get you into the groove and make you play just so much better, and you can turn off the world that is on your phone. One of those don't try this at home sort of things, right? I'm going to jump to the next question. Zach James. Zach, thanks for making a comment. He says, I'm sorry for keep commenting, but I'm a new cellist. Well, many of us are new cellists. And I need to know exactly what you mean by warm up your down bow, etc. What does this mean? Warm up. A bow stroke. Thank you. Well, a bow stroke needs to be done in a way where you have a movement that's going to come from side to side. And when you start your practice on cello, there's going to be things you do with your body. You need to warm up your cello, meaning physically make it warmer so it reacts better. And what he left this comment on the Bach Prelude How to Play video, he's referring to these bow strokes and these warm-up techniques that I teach in the video. And what that is, because the left hand is not really moving so much. It's here, and you have to coordinate a pull of 3 strings, like that. And so when you warm this up, you get used to a motion, isolating from here and moving more from here. When you concentrate on this part of your body, Zach, you're able to really get into the different motions and the very little nuance it takes to keep that bow straight and to keep it sounding. That's just a simple lift of the finger here. Here is where a lot of the movement happens. So warming up your bow essentially simply means isolating, thinking about movements here on the right side of your body. Another thing you should do is when you pick up your cello, place it on the string and look down at the bridge. And if any of you have your cello with you, cool. You can do this. One day I will do this and we'll do it live together. When you look down at your bridge, there is a reference point as to where your your bow and string come in contact. And just by playing the open strings, you should be able to keep that, well, you should, in one place. Warming up your bow is so essential to creating a good sound because 80% of everything comes from here. That's just a short answer, or the long answer. 2 questions of the same type, Brody Clark and Nikki Evans. And Brody Clark said that this is something I'm struggling to comprehend. Well, I know you can't see my bridge. I know you can't see the bridge. I know you can't. That will be a different angle. I have to get up and move it. I'm not going to do that. Brody Clark is, and says the same thing about Nikki. How do you know when you're shifting to a new position? And Brody goes more into depth. He says, there is something I'm struggling to comprehend. My main confusion is coming from sheet music. How and where on sheet music do I know to change position and to what specific position to change to? So the first question is, as a beginner, and I'm going to make a whole video about this, but when you first get into instruments, we learned the first position, where this is this right here. This is the first position. If it works in first position, good. When you start to learn the different positions, the second position I suggest you try to learn is the 4th position. And why? It's way down here. Why? Because it's also very easy to play. You train this so much and you learn this because it's the first one. But down here, I can give this cello, and one day I will, to anyone, have their hand drop down, very relaxed, and play this right here. And it's perfectly in tune. It's so natural placing the finger and the first here together. It's so easy. So after you learn the first position, jump to the 4th position. It's in that Rick Mooney book. It's wonderful. If it doesn't work in 4th and it doesn't work in 1st, then you start to think about the other positions. But how do you know? Knowing is coming with experience. And that is something that as this channel grows and as everyone starts to interact more, you'll start to realize that we all start at a certain level, whether it's musical experience or whether there's cognitive abilities. We all start at a certain level when it comes to cello. And we shouldn't make the presumption, and certainly I will not, that you know what I'm talking about. So I'm very clear when it comes to different things. An easy way to know if you have to shift is memorize the fingerings for all the first position. So like in the scale book, those of you that have one, you have in the D major, the fingering 0, 1, 3, 4, 0, 1, 3, 4. And if you know that, that's playing D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D. Or, for the other part of the world, is Re, Mi, Fa dièse, Sol, La, Si, Do dièse, Re. And so you memorize those notes associated with these fingers. If you now think of where the fourth finger on the A string is, the A here, if you think about that, that's a note above the stave with a line through it. If you see any other number above that besides a 4, like a 2, that's the upper second position. If you see the second finger, which is C natural, the Do bécard, and you see a 4 above that, that goes here. And how you learn this is by association and experience. That's going to just take time. I want to continue because he has a long question here. Is there a guide to help read this, or is it something that will come over time? I think I just answered that. It does come over time. On cello, learn everything in association to what cello is. Learn by associating it, okay? And then I really haven't begun to play any sheet music because I simply don't know how to recognize when a shift change is needed. Don't start with that. Go right into the sheet music. How you deconstruct sheet music, because it is a language. You need to start memorizing things. I moved to France about almost 5 years ago, 4 years ago. I'm still learning the language and my pronunciation is terrible, but my comprehension is much better. And one thing I know is you have to memorize. You have to do the homework. This is a language of symbols, of lines, and of words you've never heard. Détaché, sautiller, and tenuto. These are words you've never heard. Forte, and piano, and bécard, and dièse. This is the language of the world, the language of music. You have to memorize what they are. And like mathematics, there's this system of what the symbols all mean. Lines, and you have circles on them. So memorize what you can. Memorize the D major scale, the G major scale, the C major scale. And I'll impart with you, if there's one thing you can get from this live stream, this is one thing I want to impart with you. Think about the first position here. And you have the third finger across, and this is a rule you should repeat. Your third finger on the low strings, on the fat strings here. The third finger plays a natural. On the two high strings, the third finger plays a sharp. The second finger here plays a natural, and the second finger plays a flat. There are rules that you must memorize. That is a rule. Another rule would be D major has two sharps. They are F sharp and C sharp. You have to memorize that. And lastly, where are those? So a thing you can do with your practice, and I do with all my beginning students, is say to yourself, how quickly can you find C sharp? Here. There. And there. How quickly can you find a G flat? There. And the distance between how long it takes you to find one on each string will really help you. Put yourself into some pressure. Find every C natural that you can. And how long does it take to find a one C natural or one D natural per string? That was a good measurement. There is memorization that you need to learn. Simple as. There's no life hacks. You just memorization. And once you get the memorization down, then you can get more into enjoying the music, because a lot of the stress comes from looking at these symbols and trying to process it. So with time, you get it. Okay, we're going to go to Charles Phillips. He has two questions. I'm going to answer one. It was on the Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And Charles Phillips says, your score is in D major, but I have downloaded a version from Music Notes in E flat major or C minor. Why would there be two versions in different keys? And the answer is because I like to make music accessible for all. I want this music to be, I want it to be easy. And so that's why I upload to MuseScore. On MuseScore, which is free to download, you can download my scores, put it on your computer, and modulate to the key that you want. Now, D major has two sharps and is much easier to play than, well, E flat major, which has three flats. And going back to that rule of memorizing, that's just something you need to memorize. But, and going back to another thing I talked about is association. So when I say when I say D flat, when you see something with two sharps, or you see something with three flats, there should be a certain feeling that happens here. You should, as you grow with cello, you will think, okay, D sharp. Remember the rule: the third finger plays sharps on the high strings, the F sharp and the C sharp. And remember the rule that down here you play flats, but that doesn't matter. But there's going to be +4s right here. So there's stretches on these two strings, and there's nice and relaxed on these two strings. But C flat, C minor, or E flat major has three flats. Second finger on here, second finger here, low one, low one. There's more stretches involved. It's a little more complicated. So as a beginner, memorize, like in Scale Exercises 1 on my scale book. Memorize the D, the G, the C, the F, the B flat, E flat major. Memorize them, have them to heart. So why is it in D major? Because it's just easier to play. Last one before I get to some live questions. I found the second position very hard to play. I can play fluently in first and fourth, but second is giving me a hard time. And going back to one of the questions I answered earlier is this association, like when you need to shift. Here we have Be Your Game Vision and asking a really good question. This is a person that has already gotten well with here and here, but second position is a challenge. And I love second position because it offers us the chance to play. It offers the chance to play the open string without changing strings. This is the upper second position. Really giving you a hard time? Mooney, get Mooney's position pieces, volume 1, volume 2, but particularly volume 1. It's going to introduce you to the upper and lower second position. Yes, there are two second positions. And after a while, you will love the second position. Okay, I'm going to go over to what's happening here. Okay, bye, Seth. All right, so we have some live questions now. Hello, I know it was a live Q&A. I'm just going to scroll up and see what's happening. Okay, La République. Okay, hello from Hungary. So hello, Silent Rays. Hello, Finland. Okay, you're from Finland, all right. The monsters. We have a question from Iris asking, just want to know, how are the monsters? If you're talking about my chickens, they're outside and they're quiet right now. I'm thankful. AJ says that there is always hope, but as we, humanity, have suffered a profound tragedy. You know, in life, you have to jump on those opportunities to experience it. And I have been lucky to have been to Paris a good many times. We have family there, and I've been honored, I've been blessed to not only have enjoyed Notre Dame as a tourist, but also as a Catholic. And I took the Eucharist there, and I took Mass there, and it was very special. When you're in a place like that has lasted almost 900 years, it's survived through so many wars. 900 years, amazing. Europe is great. So, let's keep going. I want Kyle. Keep going. Keep going, Kyle. Okay. 1,000 years. I'll have to play that one day. Does my cello have a name? Yes, my cello has a name, AJ. The name is Code de Roi, which is corduroy. Code de Roi. So that's the name. So my bow in Chromatica in the end of the prelude. Yes, the bowing at the end was a different thing, and it's a lot of this. So all down bows. Down bows on the open D, if you want to know what that is. I have a hard time, Tiago asks, I have a hard time not with the instrument itself, but with the posture while sitting. Is it required not to lay on your back, not lay your back on any surface to play correctly? The edge of the seat is terribly uncomfortable. Tiago, I got you on this one. This is why I have these things. Yes, of course it's uncomfortable to play. That's why I use this to pad the edge. And no, you don't sit back on this. You don't do that. You don't do that. You sit up erect. You sit erect. AJ, there are no embarrassing questions. There are no tutors around me, so I depend on videos online. But I can't see. Do all hairs of the bow connect with the string at the same time or just the edge? I'll do another video where we can zoom in on this. A good cellist can play flat like this. You should be able to do that. Basically looking through your hairs. So if you're looking down at your bridge, you can look through your hairs. Flat. Yet we use the bow and turn it a little bit downward. Okay? Turn it a little bit downward. Not on the edge, because the edge is less hair, thus less rosin, thus more quiet. That's a more advanced technique of playing on the side. But you can still do that by playing flat, but you have to really push down. Learn to play nice and flat, and then if you want to, turn it a little bit. But the more hairs you have in contact, the more sound you get. There are no embarrassing questions. All right, Iris. Well, good night. I love that. Gosh. Wow, Taiwan. I'm teaching. I have a student in Hong Kong, and hopefully, Australia. Skype students. For those of you who are interested, we're going to talk about this. What you see here is how it streams on Skype. It's high quality. I got my lapel mic. I got the AKGs. Got fiber optic. And that's the way it's done. A lot of you have to understand, when I was playing cello as a kid learning, the ability to pull up my professor on my phone and have him give me live help like that. This is incredible luxury. That's incredible, okay? Imagine you practicing, la-di-da, doing your thing. Oh, and you make a mess up. And like, I need some help. And you do, and you pull me up on Skype, and I'm like, well, your hand's slipping, because that's what lessons are about. And this channel is not there to replace your teacher, by no means. This channel is there to help you on your journey of music discovery. And part of music discovery is finding those connections between you, the luthier, and the ensemble and the teacher. This is the education, the art, the artistry, and then the artist. That's like the trinity of music. And so what I do here is I'm just giving you everything I know from the past 30 years of playing and 20 years of teaching. And but I'm telling you, if you have the chance, if I had the chance to do that, so get my professor on my phone, I would have just giggled. It's amazing, okay? So that's why I do the Skype thing. It works. My students are improving. Got students in California, got students in East Coast, Germany, Asia, and it's wonderful. So if you're interested in that, my email address is just my name, Jonathan Humphreys, .com, jh@jonathanhumphreys.com, and check that out, And I want to talk about another thing is why I do this channel. One day this summer, when we reach a milestone, I'll make a video about it. But now I want to tell you, I don't do it for views, I don't do it for likes, and I don't do it for subscribers. I do it for these comments, your questions. I read every single one of them. I listen to you. I take your advice. I take your suggestions to heart. I change when you criticize me, when you praise me. I love all of it. Every one of your comments are read. Most of them are responded to, if not all of them. And I take them seriously, regardless if you have something good or something not so good to say. I want a dialogue. This is why I do this. I love your comments. I love your energy. And if this channel, nothing matters up here in the screen. What matters is I guess there. I guess it's there. That's what matters. The comments. So I can get to know who you are, where you are in this journey. It is a wonderful journey, and that's why I do it. So some of you say, oh, why doesn't the channel get more views? I don't promote it. Every single subscriber that finds this channel, you find it completely organically. You find it because the content is quality. I'm a YouTuber that I hate people to waste my time. Even though I'm live streaming and I'm chatting too much, I like to keep my videos short and precise, and that's why I'm doing that. That's why I'm doing the videos, because simply I have to. I have to teach. It's in my blood, and I don't just say that, I do it. Recently, one of my students here in France asked me, would you like to join this orchestra? Of course I would. I love to. But that would take me away from my channel, my teaching, my studio. And that's my first priority. I love performing. I've performed in a lot of groups, rock band, jazz orchestra, symphony orchestra, and in the pit for, operas and ballets. I love it. But this right here, questions from people like Thomas here. Thomas, this is why I do this, for you. So Thomas, when I press the A string, lower down a little bit, then when I press the A string, the string lowers down a little bit than when it is open. That affects the sound if I'm bowing legato. Makes a squeak because the bow is not fully in touch with the string. Okay, hello from Missouri. Another takeaway. You play notes on cello before you play them. You make the music before it is made. I'm going to go back to the Bach and show you something. I'm about to play. I'm already pushing down the first finger. You play the note before you play it. That is a legato. 1, 2, 3, all down. The finger is already playing the B. So in order to keep that smooth, you have to engage not the string, but the fingerboard. You don't play strings, you play the fingerboard. When you push down, can you feel the fingerboard? I'll talk about that another time, but that's definitely something I do. Hello, Alex. Okay, here we go. We're going back to Silent Rays. How reasonable is it to learn cello from the internet? The closest tutor lives pretty far away, so I'm planning to go to her once a month with a lot of practice in between visits. Silent Rays, if you watch this again, and maybe you had to go to bed, that is completely reasonable. The technology today offers us the ability to do that. I do the Skype thing because it works. I got the fiber optic and all this stuff and streaming because it works. But you must have a professor that is organized and able to teach you in that manner. It's a different way of teaching. You have to be very specific and very different and unique in your approach. And I'm getting better by the lesson, so it's possible. Is it reasonable? Absolutely. For some people, to the idea of getting your cello, putting it in the case, getting in your car, or on the metro, going to the professor's house, getting everything out, setting up, taking a lesson, getting back in, drive. That's a lot. Imagine if you lived in a big city. Imagine then going home, sitting down, getting comfortable, taking your coffee, taking everything out. Oh, I think I'm ready for lesson. And you touch one button on your smartphone. That is very reasonable. Smith Jake, can you play a song, please? I'm from France. Okay, I'll play another one. This is awesome. Hive instructor, you're a great help. I'm almost done with these. I have to do these first. Obrigado. De rien, de rien. Okay. I'm going to go back. How do you call a cellist who has an affair with a ukulele? I don't know, Alex. I guess there's a punchline to that. I'll play a song, Smith. This is great, awesome. Yes, you have a private instructor, but you're a great help. Thank you, Crimson. That's what I do. The channel is here to help you just get better, in between. I'll play a song, Smith Jake. Any suggestion on how to get rid of the violin hand when you first start playing cello? I've been playing for 11 months now. Karen Ingram, I think I was going to answer one of your questions, Karen. And Yaya Ayman, sorry if I mispronounced your name, but you asked the same question. She says she has been playing the violin for 2 years. She wants to play cello. And is there any tips for people who are coming from violin to cello? Karen, I got you. Violin, you play like this. It's very on the palm, and it's turned like this. Cello, think of it as perpendicular, much larger. And also, your thumb plays an active role in aligning right here. Your thumb plays an absolute active role, okay? That's essential. You're never going to be like this. The thumb plays an active role in aligning with the hand. It's not just there, just hanging out like this, or even like this. It can be active, but it's more active on the tip. It's the best thing. Perpendicular fingers, not like this, not like this, not like this, like this, and actively aligned with the second finger. Oh my God, so Alex, you're Puck? Are you the Puck? Hello, Alex. Oh boy. At what point in your life did you realize you were truly connected to the instrument? J.S. Crimson asks. That moment you realized that you were one. Huh. That's a really good question. Oh, it's all getting philosophical on me for a little bit. All right, J.S. When did you realize you were truly connected to the instrument? That the moment you realize you were one. When you learn this instrument young, you take it for granted. You play it. You take it for granted. I was good. I hope I'm still good. And then you go to university, you won a scholarship competition, competed, did the thing, won the award, yay, won the scholarship, won the money. Was important for a little bit. But it still didn't really matter. It didn't matter. In all honesty, JS, I felt connected to the instrument when I lost it. It's kind of crazy. You don't realize how much you love something until you lose it. I went to a Bach festival in Carmel, California. They once a year in summertime in Carmel they do Bach. And it was a little brief period of my life. I did not have a cello with me. And it'd been about, 2 years or something. But it was too long. And I remembered I went and we watched it and we went to the intermission. And then I went to where they're selling like scores and I picked up the Bach suites and I looked and I opened it up and I looked at the prelude and my fingers started to tingle. And it was like tunnel vision and I felt sucked into the music and I was there again. I was a teenager, I was young, I was free of worry, and I was really enjoying playing cello. Shortly after that, I bought a cello off of Craigslist for $600. Yes, I owned a $600, and I got ripped off, Chinese cello. And I played the crap out of that thing. And I upgraded. And now I have a beautiful Italian cello. And I knew the moment I got that Chinese cello would never leave me. That's when I knew. When I had a $600 crappy, not crappy because I love that thing. When I just had a super basic cello that everybody laughs at you for, I knew that moment. That was a moment. This would never leave me. No matter if it was 60,000 or 600 or $60. And that's why I take it super serious when you buy a cello off Amazon. That means a lot to you. I know what that means because I've been there. All right, that was a kind of a deep question. Thanks, JS. Karen, as I asked your question, so she has some questions about the gavotte. How do you stop the squeaking from switching strings on the gavotte? She has a Suzuki Book 2 question. For those of you not familiar with Suzuki, Shinichi Suzuki devised a way to learn the instrument by memory. And I believe it's Book 2. Where's Book 2? Is it Book 2? I thought it was Book 3. Oh, it's Book 3, if that truly is. I don't know exactly which gavotte she's talking about. But Shinichi Suzuki is a series of books, and in my studio I teach. It's oh, here we go. She wants to know how to not squeak playing this song. Now, I don't know what part she's talking about when it comes to the squeaking, but always be super clear in your questions, and I can be super clear in my answers. From switching the strings, if it's talking about the bits right here, play in this wonderful balance point of your bow. Play it slowly. And play the notes before you play them. All right, that's enough of that one. I want to buy a cello. Hello, Ellery. Lamplighter, sorry, missed you. Any tips for a slur that crosses strings? Have a tough getting clean sound. Just like I've said, I'm going to say it again. Play the notes before playing them. Let's just say they're open strings. Clear sound. I'll have a different video when it comes to this bow right here. So I can't do that right now. But I'll answer it another time. Okay, we'll have a whole bowing live stream another day. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna do that. Okay. Oh, Crimson. You're asking the great questions. JS, I usually I gotta answer this one. I have to answer this one. JS Crimson, you touch my heart. You're like you. But I love all you. But I like these good question. Saying this is my second year playing. I'm at book 3 of Suzuki and dissecting the prelude, bit by bit. Is it all right to call myself a cellist? This is subjective, but this is sort of a measurement I give to all my students. You are a cello player. Mm-hmm. Are you a cello player? Are you a cellist? Whatever you want to call it. I have three things, okay, that make you a cellist, if you will. There are people that can play cello. There are cello players. And in my opinion, there are cellists. Yeah, I know there's three kind of the same thing, but in my definition, they're not. The first thing about how you become a cellist is you must own a cello. Renting it, okay, you're halfway there, but it's not yours. I ride a motorcycle. I own a motorcycle. I play guitar. I own my guitar. And when you own something, it gives you something more. First rule, own a cello. Doesn't matter the price. Second rule, you must play out. You must perform. We are performance artists, so you must perform. For a small group or big group, the moment you go out there and people come sit down, they shut up and they listen to you, that's another part. You're becoming a cellist. And the third, you must play Bach. You must play Bach. It's just a requirement. When you do those three things, and you play Bach by the heart, par cœur, in my opinion, you're a cellist. Okay. What's the distance the cello string supposed to have from the fingerboard at its bottom? Good question, Radu. 5 to 8 millimeters. Talking about this here, the distance here. So you take a measurement and you measure this right here, the distance between the A and the fingerboard. Yes, 5 to 8 millimeters. I'm at 8. My luthier in Italy says it should be around 5. I have it at 8. If yours is any higher, then that's a problem. A good thing is if you can put your finger easily under that, that's a problem. Okay. Lower that fingerboard. A lot of you are playing these instruments that may not have seen a luthier in a while. Get that finger, get that bridge taken care of. Do not try to do it yourself. Do not. Continuing. My cello is an Eagle CE300. Do you know? What is your opinion? I don't know. I'm sorry. Is it bad to play the cello close to the bridge? No, it isn't if you're playing up high. The higher you go, higher you go, as in higher you go, the lower you have to lower. You have to do this. You have to go lower with your bow. If you're not playing in thumb position, yeah, then it's probably not too good to play too closely to that. So he's already very specific here. It squeaks when I bow the legato, probably AC, 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 because the string height is changed when it's pressed. I do have to mind how much bow. So when you have to divide in your mind, going back to Thomas Dewey, when you bow, it's gentle and fluid here if you're playing like that, long legatos. Here, it's firm and quick. It's a very big division you must make in your brain. Firm and quick, and nice and gentle. Hit those strings. Remember, Thomas, play the wood. Play it firmly and play it quickly. Let's keep going. No, I didn't leave it on top of my car. I didn't leave it on top of my car. Can I demonstrate how to tune? Well, thank you, AJ. Oh, thank you very much, AJ. Thank you very much. That is 5 pounds. Jeez. That's the first time that's happened. Cool. Oh, thank you very much. Okay. The Gavotte is such a cheerful tune. You're not a bigger Miss Alex, or you got some funny questions. Do I still have my Chinese cello? Bilbo Baggins asks. Hello, Bilbo. Did you like my Misty Melton tops? I like that one. I don't have that cello. I have a picture of it, and one day I'll make a video about that, about my journey, my own journey of discovery, of rediscovery for me and cello. I don't have it, but the first thing I did with that cello, that cheap cello, Jaeger strings, worked on the bridge, a good tailpiece, and I got a decent bow. That's what I did. Measure 20. She wants to know. We're getting very specific. Measure 20. For those of you with your Suzuki book, if you want to follow along, pull it out. Suzuki book 2, Gavotte. It's on the 17th page. Measure 20. This is what we do here. We're super specific. She wants to know why to squeak. The same thing that I believe one of the other subscribers were asking. You have to be firm and quick here and fluid here. So, break it into pieces. It's an up bow stroke. And one thing I can give you an example of is to attack this. Play it slowly, but the fourth finger on the G, when you do that A string cross, stay on the string, don't lift it, and play that slowly. Keep it there, and just try to do that. And then add the note after. And when you're doing that, look at yourself in the mirror if you don't have a teacher. Are you lifting your fingers like this, like a spider, or are you keeping them down? If you're doing it correctly, and slower, I'm keeping that fourth finger down. Hope that helped you out. How long did it take you to grow your hair? Jay. I've had my hair long 3 times in my life. This is the 3rd time. This is the 3rd time I've had my hair long. And yeah, I've had it. I start, honestly, 2015 I came here. I had short hair. So now it's 2019. So there you go. 3.5 years. 36 months. Can you demonstrate how to tune? I will do that another time. But I can demonstrate one thing since I have this vision here. When you tune, I'm going to pull my tuner out. This one I dropped earlier. Going up. All right? It's out of tune. So my A is out of tune. All the other strings are fine but the A. You will have to adjust the other ones when you adjust the A. So I have to move this because there's not enough down there. When you do that, 2 forces, pushing in and turning. Turn it towards you. And with this hand here, this is my left hand. Verify. If it keeps slipping, some of you, you'll have to possibly do this. So right hand here, pushing, pushing. Always looking at your tuner. Pushing in. Not in tune. When you lose one string, you lose them all. Second thing, always tune with your bow. Look at it and tune with your bow. If you want to try to do this, you can, but that's silly. Anyway. Hello, Shay. Kavanaugh. What is the difference between a $50 bow and a $1,000 bow? And more importantly, can you tell? Thanks from Dublin, Ireland. Good evening to you, Dublin, Ireland. So the difference between a $50 bow and a $1,000 bow, and more importantly, can you tell the difference? It depends on the player and depends on the repertoire that you're playing. Bows are an interesting thing. They're like a chef. A chef has a knife. All chefs have a knife they love, and they can cook anything with that knife. Your bow is that knife. You're cooking up not food, but wonderful musical goodies. But a knife cuts, so you can technically cut with a knife from your basic store, a Lidl, here they have in France. You can get a €2 knife and cut. You can cut. But can you cook? There's a difference. Can you truly make cuisine? And the same thing goes with bows. Yes, a bow with with hair and rosin will physically make that noise that we wonderfully call music. There it goes. To pull that one out. More Bach for you. But it will be so much easier with a better quality bow. $50 is on the low end. When you're going around 150, 250, regardless if it's pounds, euros, or dollars, then that is where you start to get the very, what they call trade bows. 75 to, you can get it for $75, $80. $1,000 bow. Now, if you put two bows next to me, 150, of course you can feel the difference. The quality of the makemanship is different. But secondly, the fact that the bow is going to be just better in all sorts of ways. It's just going to have a better response, a better spring to it. That doesn't mean it's going to be better for you, because different cellists play different ways. Okay? That means that some people like a heavy on this side, light on this side. Some people like the weight in the middle or evenly distributed. I have two bows. This is one, Excalibur 1, and Excalibur 2 is over there. There's a reason why I call them Excalibur. This bow is very evenly weighted. It feels like a feather in your hands. So I use it for my more Baroque music. The other one I use for my romantic stuff, my concertos and concerts. So would you be able, and of course I would be able to tell the difference even blindfolded. But to most people, if everything here was exactly the same in structure, would you be able to, I guess he said, hear the difference or tell the difference? I would definitely be able to tell the difference and hear the difference. Maybe, maybe not. It's all very subjective. Find a bow that best fits you. It's a very different thing when you do the cello. Go out and buy your cello. Get it online. Start somewhere. With bow, same thing. Start somewhere. And then go to, after you've learned a considerable amount of repertoire, then start bow shopping. Be able to play something slow. Be able to play something fast, loud and soft, and all by memory. And that is when you will be able to learn what right bow is for you. Are there any special lotions to apply to cello scratches? I don't have any yet. I'm asking. That's a good question. There's no lotions, but your luthier is the place to go for that. Oh, hello, Jesper. Where are you, Jesper? I just lost you. I just lost you, Jesper. Jesper, I wanted, since you're watching, you ask some great questions. Some of you makes the channel better. I want to thank you for your great questions in the past. I've heard fine tuners impact the sound of violins. To what degree is this true for cellos? This is when we start really getting into the minutia, to the details of what it is to and to what affects the sound. If a person like me, I would be, if here I'm going to just do this for a moment. Here's the bottom of my cello. I'm going to get right here. All right, there we go. These are my fine tuners, and how much of my sound is going to be affected by it? Well, 99% of the time, or 98%, I won't really care. But it's at 2%. When you get to a certain level in your playing of a certain piece, and it can be anything, you need that extra something. And you may find that you're being hindered by your fine tuners. Then yeah, take them off. Because when you directly connect your fine tuners to your tailpiece, there is a much more quick resonance and transfer of vibrations into your instrument. So, of course, that would require some adjustment of your playing, but it does affect it. It's true. It's true. It's true. There you go. What year do you start playing Bach on the cello? Karen is always, is that the discretion of your teacher? More about the year you should play Bach whenever you want to. I'm not going to get religious on you, but Bach wrote us our own Bible. You know, it's like you see a priest walking around. What do they always have a Bible? You expect that. And as a cello player, you should have your own copy of the Bach suites. That's kind of like your Bible. You know, that's your you're a chef. That's your cookbook. Don't leave home without it. That is something you should have. So buy it. Get a version of it. Download it offline. It's free on IMSLP and start learning it. There are simple tunes. I suggest the Minuet. The Minuet in the first prelude is a wonderful thing, and there's lots of things you can understand about the Bach suites because they're so wonderful to play. And to the discretion of your teacher, you can be a little bit of a rebel and play before or after. Play before your teacher tells it to you. I have some students in Taiwan that, well, future students, hopefully, in Taiwan that want to join the studio because their teacher has flat out refused them. John and Savio, hello if you watch this. Flat out refused these two boys that they want to play the Bach suites. And that is not what cello is about. Okay, how many of us are going to get to the level of playing it in orchestras, top orchestras? Okay, my fingers can't get this close enough. But how many of us can enjoy Bach on our cello? It's unaccompanied. You're not going to play with anyone. Pick yourself up a copy, start learning it, and let your teacher object. One day, when you see the passion that you're learning for it, they will be forced to teach you if they're a good teacher. Anyway, that's just my personal opinion. 1 centimeter, AJ, yeah. You're at 10 millimeters. Got to cut that down. It's going to help you a lot. David, hello, David. Thanks for joining. Played viola for 5 years. Love viola, by the way. I intend to play a second instrument. It will be cello. Welcome to the family. What methods do you recommend to start? Well, because you are familiar with it, like I said prior, the finger alignment is going to be more perpendicular. You're going to use more spacing in between. Your thumb's going to be more active in the alignment here. And this will transfer really easily. When you bow like this, the movement of the wrist and the elbow has already been isolated. 5 years, I presume you can isolate from the elbow. So you'll be fine. Just the left hand will be some adjustment. Currently, right now, I'm teaching a viola player in my studio here in France, Anaïs. I don't know about the Primavera 200, sorry. Right, so Ferreira, Diogenes Ferreira, it's okay. It's okay. I am Catholic, and so that's why I do the Sacred Sundays. And the reason why I do these Sunday lessons, every once in a while I'll share with some music that is inspired by the church, not just the Catholic Church, but from all churches and all faiths. That's the goal of Sacred Sundays. It's to give a day of relaxation, of reflection, for us to get in touch with the one above, whatever you believe in, to get you in touch with what this gift is, this gift of music. Bach was very religious, and most of his music was dedicated to God. And so it's just my personal choice to share that bit of sacred music on Sundays. So that's the answer to that question. Anyway. Ooh, hello, Rick Spencer. You asked some good questions, Rick. Can you elaborate on the difference between the types of scales, melodic versus harmonic, gypsy, jazz, etc.? I'll just talk quickly about the melodic and harmonic minor modes. I'll play an example of it. My scale exercise is 8, I believe. We have what is known as the natural minor, a diatonic scale. that is playing the key signature of C, but 1.5 steps lower or higher, however you want to say it. There's all sorts of ways you can do it. That's A minor. A harmonic is the second iteration of that. When you raise the sixth, when you raise the seventh note, when you raise the seventh note a half step. And so it gives this different effect. Used very much in Baroque music. Some people say it's Arabic. You can say whatever you want. Then melodic minor is you raise the sixth and seventh quality of a half step, and then you go back to the natural minor on the way down. So that would be the F sharp and the G sharp. Those are the three major modes that we play in: natural minor, melodic minor, and harmonic minor. Those are super important just to get down the fingering patterns for that. Just important. As for the gypsy and the jazz and all like the Mixolydian, the Lydian, and those different modes, I'll talk about another day. That's high level theory, and we'll definitely get into it on the channel. So, great question. Oh. Joshua. Hello, Joshua. He's talking about this. This is a wolf tone eliminator. And you know you have a wolf tone. It's what we call it. When you play the F sharp or the B natural or the F natural. Here, that's an F sharp. And it's not clear enough. Now for me, I'll have to demonstrate that because even though my cello is really nice, I still have a wolf tone. I have two wolf tones. Now you can't necessarily hear it, but I can feel it. The wolf tone is what happens. It's an acoustical anomaly in cello that there's an extra vibration, and it happens usually on the F sharp. And so that's why you place a weight of some sort, a dampener, on the G string close to the bridge, like this. There you go, like that, okay? And what that acoustical anomaly is, one day I'll demonstrate it with the cello I have here, a student of mine that has a terrible wolf tone, is you have an extra vibration here. That's why they usually put a wolf, sort of a vibration reducer here in this area of your instrument. An easy way to do that, if you think you have a wolf tone, and if you can't really hear it, take some flour. It's easier with flour. They do sand, but that's more abrasive. And sprinkle flour on your cello, and then take your bow and bow. And you will see, and you have to place your finger where the F sharp or the F is, and you will see the whole cello, all the flour kind of be still, but here it will do an extra vibration. I will demonstrate that in a video one day. It's quite interesting, and that's a telltale sign. It's like this extra violent vibration here, and it's just an anomaly of playing cello, just the reality of it. So, okay. No, I'm in France, Shay. I'm in France. Yeah, Karen, about the Lasagna. That's why I made that on the channel. There is, we have another famous tune. There are certain songs you as a cello player will be expected to play. You can never stop learning them. Like, it's never too early to learn them, okay? People are going to want to hear just a little bit of it. Le Cygne. It's a beautiful song by Saint-Saëns, and you will be expected to play that. The Bach suite of the Prelude and the Cygne. They're like our Stairway to Heaven, so you have to learn that. That's why on the channel I covered it, well, I didn't cover it, I arranged it for G major, or C major, excuse me. Same fingerings, so you can start learning behind your teacher's back, Karen. Start learning this with the fingerings. Or if you want to do exactly, most of the fingerings are the same. So yeah, you can do that. Be a little bit of a rebel. Bonjour, Francois. Do, ré, mi, fa, sol. Do, ré, mi, fa, sol, mi, ra, tout. Oui. Si tu as une question, demande parce que je ne lis pas une question. Désolé, on peut en parler en français parce que j'habite ici en France, oui. J'habite ici pas au Québec. Bonjour Québec, je suis ici en France. Désolé pour ma prononciation. Chris, hello Chris. I have a question. I started playing cello. My wrist was so much pain if I hold the bow for too long. Do you think my form is wrong for a beginner? Love from Indonesia. Chris, look, without being there and seeing you, which you should take a Skype lesson with me or somebody, not being able to do that. But here's a tip. Don't push. We hold this like this, okay? You cup everything and you hold it like this. I'll do it in more detailed, but this should be nice and relaxed. If you're pushing here, and if there's wrist pain, you're going to have to get somebody to help you and see what you're doing. Without seeing that, I wouldn't be able to help you. But it's not natural to have wrist pain. All right, Nick, I'll help you out. Oh, hello, Mirko. How you doing, Mirko? It's one of my students here in Germany. Nick asks, I find holding the bow difficult. I've tried to hold it gently, but it feels as though it will slip out of my hand or it ends up sliding down the strings easily. What do you suggest? The bow is 80% of this. This cupping, Nick, okay? We're cupping it. And if it feels like it'll slip out, you're going to need to put a little bit more engagement of your second phalanges here on flat on it, okay? You have to do that. If you're kind of playing like a spider, no, you don't play like a violin. Nice and flat, lots of engagement. You know, on my bow, you align this, you do this. My video, I do this right here. And it's nice and flat and engaged. And it should feel, when it's on the string, like it could slip out. That's how relaxed your hand is. Maybe put a little bit more grip on it. But without seeing it, I don't know. Yeah, no, which leads to tighter grip and pain. Again, Nick, without being able to see what you're doing, it's hard to do that. Sorry. Chris is answering that. Anyway. How old is cello? L is a corduroy. Corde de roi. Corde de roi. And, oh, Frank, okay. And, so how old is Corde de roi? Is 2002. I love modern cellos. This is made by Edgar Rus, and I went back to Italy and I brought it to him, and he was very happy to see it. It went from Italy to Paris, to California, to Los Angeles, to San Jose, back to France, and then back to Italy. Came back home. I love modern instruments, and in all honesty, as you are my witness and God too, I never thought I would ever own a cello like this. And thanks to the goodness of people around me, I was able to, well, get this in my life. I'm going to keep a couple more, and then we're going to sort of I've been doing this for about an hour and a half now. I'll play one more song and then do another time. This has been fun. I do own my own cello too. And hello, Lucien. Thank you for giving me a goal to perform. Okay, Lucien, you're welcome, Lucien. A method that Francois. A method uses notes like do, re, mi, and not do. I never learned letters and don't understand why people change the letters. Okay. Fouillard. Fouillard is Yellow Book. It's Jean Livre de Musique. Fouillard. Cherche pour Fouillard. Je cherche pour ça. Je cherche. Maintenant, je connais pas. Je sais pas. J'enseigne en français ici et j'ai déjà transféré ma compétence en anglais, en français, le do, ré, mi, fa, sol, la, si, do. Je connais bien, mais je connais les différences, les tirets, poussons, parce que c'est très exactement en français, mais pas... Oui, c'est difficile, c'est vraiment difficile, le changement. D'accord, je connais. Okay, you're welcome. Oh, hello, Layla. Good, glad you found your N-pin sweet spot, Layla. Hello, Portland. Hello, Mirko. Okay, we have a guy here named Mirko, and he is very passionate. And this is what I love about the channel, is to connecting with you guys with that passion. It's just, I could do this all day. Mirko is a classic example of a person that is so in love with the instrument that he will play for hours and hours. You don't need to play that much. And so when I asked Mirko, and he's a proper big guy, and he's been working out all his life, and I asked him, how, if you saw someone at the gym working out and pumping iron all hours of the day, would you say, as an expert in lifting weights, is he doing the right thing? And he said, no, all you need is 45 minutes in the gym. That's it. You don't need to spend 4 hours in the gym. And so I turned the logic on him and changed it and sharing it with you guys. You don't need many, many hours to learn, like in a row, but you do need time in between. Just like when you're working your muscles and you have to let them rest in between sessions, you have to let this biggest muscle of your body, your brain, rest in between learning sessions. Sometimes when I'm making these videos, I really want to do it right there. I want to make it there. And I'll practice a bunch. But it's not going to sound as good unless I wait another day, let the brain process everything, and play it again. That's what the epigenetics of learning is all about. The neurology of learning music. Watch that video. It will help you. I'm going to expand a lot more upon that, but I'm telling you, you're not going to play any better with more hours tacked on. You're going to enjoy it because you're playing, but you're not improving on anything. You improve in 15 and 45-minute, literal 45-minute bits, and then spurts, and then it ends. And then you have to, let the brain rest and do it again the next day. So, anyway. You'll have to talk about me that he gets pain in his body. Everybody gets pain. Yes, you get pain because you're thinking too much. It's simple as. When I'm learning a new piece, if I pulled up a piece right now I've never learned, I'm going to stress and your shoulders go up. You're thinking a lot. There are at least 20 to 30 minimum simultaneous commands you're doing as you are reading music. You can do 2 of them really well. You can walk and talk. But you can't do 27 to 30. I lost my track at 27. So yeah, you're overloading your brain. Your computer shuts down. Well, your brain will too. So your body. All right, Mark, I'll do this for you. The posture like it should be. I'll do this for you because I can do the top half, and I wasn't prepared for that. The main thing, as we talked about, is the sternum. Sternum here, and this right here, this peg behind your left ear. And it's going to be different for different people. We're all anatomically different, and I'll get my wide angle for that day, and we'll get into that. I wasn't prepared for answering all these questions and going. So yes, a couple more questions, and then I'll have to go have dinner because it's been a while. Luke, I'll answer your question. I'm having trouble with 3 linked on a down bow, then a quick up bow to recover. The quick up bow is much louder and accented. Any tips to make this sound them in even more even? Yes. Something like that. You have to, if you're playing 4 notes, you're going to be moving quicker, using more rosin, using more hair, and thus it's going to be louder and it's going to sound accented. You're going to have to lift a little bit with this wrist of yours, like a marionette. And it takes practice to lift and keep that speed slow, quick, slow, quick. It takes practice. And it's not a maktale, but it's definitely a technique. It's like a light. So lift a little bit. Do a cheat. Lift that bow a little bit on that up bow. There will be a little bit of a separation, a little bit of a détaché there. That's the best. See you soon, Marco. Okay, so I'm glad you love the cello. Yoldianis. Okay, so I'm going to just leave it at that. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. You guys are great. And how long have you been playing the cello mod? I've been playing the cello for 30 years. 30 years. And I've been doing this on YouTube since 2014, but not even that, since earlier than that. I use a channel to support my studio, but now I'm transferring all that information to you guys. I do it because of these comments, of who you guys are, of what you do, of your creation, your videos, your progress, your dedication, your passion. That's why I do it. It's not about views. It's not about subscribers. It's not about look at me. It's not about any of that. The star of this channel is there. I'm just here transferring the beauty of what this is to you guys. I want to thank you for making this fun, and I'll do it again. I'll talk more about it later, but I'll do it again, and I hope each and every one of you have a wonderful day, wonderful evening, and enjoy this wonderful journey of music discovery. Bye-bye. And stop.